Can you even fathom dedicating 16 years of your life, pouring every ounce of love and effort into raising a child who isn't even yours, only for her to stand at her own college graduation, a party you paid for, and introduce another woman as her mother? My heart shattered that night, but that was just the beginning of a twisted story you won't believe. What the hell happened next? For 16 years, David and his daughter, Lauren, they were my whole world. My entire life. We were together for 16 years, married for 12, and I raised Lauren, my stepdaughter, since she was just 5 years old. I poured everything into her, my time, my love, my money. I loved her like my own. So when I found out David, my husband, was cheating, it was like a gut punch. Awful. Devastating. But then I found out Lauren had been helping him hide it. All along. That betrayal? That was a different kind of pain. It wasn't just my husband who had stabbed me in the back. It was my daughter too. And the way I found out? Oh, it makes my blood run cold just thinking about it. They chose to announce their sordid little secret at Lauren's college graduation party. A party I planned. A party I paid for. Can you believe the audacity? This was about 3 months ago. Lauren was home from college, and I wanted to celebrate her, I invited all her friends, family. Later that evening, as everyone was arriving, David mentioned one of his coworkers would be joining us. Her name was Nina. She was 29. She'd been at his company for about a year. I'd met her a few times, even had her over for dinner once. She always seemed so polite, so cordial. And I, like an absolute fool, had welcomed her into my home. Been nothing but kind to her. Thinking about it now, it makes me physically ill. The whole party, it's etched in my memory. Every single agonizing second. Honestly, it was one of the most traumatic nights of my life. Nina showed up late, long after everyone else. And she was dressed. Like, red carpet, Hollywood glam dressed. It was bizarre. Everyone noticed. When I tried to greet her, she just blew right past me. Didn't even acknowledge me. She walked straight to David and practically glued herself to his side, clinging to him. And he just let her. Didn't seem to mind at all. It was so weird. So inappropriate. But it was Lauren's big night, right? I didn't want to cause a scene, didn't want to ruin her moment. So I just told myself I'd talk to David later. Big mistake. Just minutes after Nina's grand entrance, Lauren decided it was time for her big speech. Everyone was there, all eyes on her. My stomach was churning from David and Nina's bizarre display, but I tried to push it down. Then Lauren started talking, thanking her dad for everything, going on and on about how he single-handedly raised her after her mother died when she was 2. Single-handedly? My jaw nearly dropped. I'd been in their lives since she was 5. Financially, emotionally, I was her mother in every way that mattered. To hear her completely erase me from her history, it was a knife twist. But then, she started talking about one other person. Someone who had been there for her at her lowest. Someone who always managed to cheer her up. And, against all better judgment, a tiny spark of hope flickered inside me. Maybe she'd remember me after all, even though, deep down, I knew it couldn't be me. She'd been so distant since college. But still, after she'd completely ignored my role in her upbringing, I hoped for a crumb of acknowledgement. Instead, she said this person was as good as her mother because of how strongly they'd bonded. And then, in front of everyone, she walked straight past me, straight to Nina, and gave her a huge, heartfelt hug. I just stood there, frozen, like a complete, utter fool. A total slap in the face, right in front of everyone I knew. I swear, for a few seconds, my mind just went blank. I could feel all eyes on me, watching as Lauren, my stepdaughter, the child I'd raised since she was 5, who I considered my own daughter, embraced another woman and called her mom. The humiliation was scalding. Then the shock wore off. I realized what had just happened. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stay there another second. I bolted, ran inside the house, up to my room, and slammed the door shut. Locked it. That's when the dam broke. The tears just poured out. I'd seen enough. Heard enough. Lauren's speech, the hug, David holding Nina's hand, standing there with her like they were the family, and I was just a stranger. I wasn't stupid. I knew exactly what was going on. It was sickening. I waited. I actually waited. I thought David, or, at the very least, Lauren, would come looking for me. Come explain. Come apologize. But nothing. Crickets. I was just alone. For an hour, maybe more, I just sat there, heartbroken, crying my eyes out. That's it, I thought. Nobody's coming. So I stopped crying, wiped my eyes, and started packing. It was crystal clear. This family was broken, rotten, and I wanted absolutely no part of it anymore. Especially not after that absolute dumpster fire of an evening. When I came downstairs, my bags mostly packed, guess who was waiting for me? David, Lauren, and Nina. All three of them. And what did they do? Did they apologize? Beg for forgiveness?
No.
David and Lauren immediately started berating me.
Me.
They said I'd behaved weirdly, and because of my actions, they had to serve dinner early and send all the guests home to avoid further drama. They actually said I needed to apologize to everyone for making them uncomfortable. Hearing this right there in front of Nina, something snapped. My original plan was to just leave quietly, no fuss. But their arrogance, their sheer gall, ignited a fury I didn't know I had. I tore into them. I demanded an explanation. I knew what was happening, but I wanted them to say it. And David did. He admitted he'd been in a relationship with Nina for a couple of months. He said he didn't feel anything for me anymore. He could have stopped there, but no. He had to rub salt in the wound. He told me he'd lost feelings for me a year ago, right when he met Nina. Then the kicker. He blamed me. Said I'd become a nag. And without Lauren as a buffer, he realized the spark was gone. But with Nina? Oh, the spark was back. She was the right woman for him.
He was leaving me.
Then he dropped the ultimate bombshell. Lauren had known about it from the beginning. She was on board. She thought Nina was better for him than me. She had even helped him cover his tracks, come up with excuses, so I wouldn't find out until he was ready. I was disgusted. Absolutely sickened. But the worst part? Lauren didn't even look ashamed. Not one bit. She looked proud. Standing there hand in hand with Nina, beaming. I couldn't believe the level of ingratitude. The selfishness. I just stared at them, speechless. Good luck with your new family. I finally managed to choke out. Because I'm clearly not welcome here anymore. I didn't say another word. I just left. And within a week, I filed for divorce. You think I was just going to roll over and take it? After dedicating 16 years of my life, my youth, my everything, to this man and his daughter? Absolutely not. I've demanded a substantial amount of alimony and the house. And you know what? I don't feel guilty about it for a second. It's completely fair. They stole a huge chunk of my life, time I'll never get back. I could have had my own biological children, but I didn't because Lauren was always enough for me. My world. I never, ever imagined something like this could happen. David is responsible for all of this mess, and he needs to compensate me.
Period.
Of course, he's fighting me every step of the way. We've been in mediation for months, trying to find common ground. My lawyer and I are just laying out the facts, but David and his team? They're twisting everything, manipulating the narrative, trying to paint me as the bad guy. As if I pushed him to cheat. It's infuriating. Neither of us really wants to go to court, but if it comes to that, I'm ready. I'm not scared. Not anymore. I've been through enough. Justice will be on my side. I know it. But then, a few days ago, the universe delivered a little poetic justice. The scales started to tip. Lauren showed up at my apartment, begging forgiveness. I don't even know how she found me. I'd been so careful to keep my new place a secret. Someone must have blabbed. I didn't want to open the door, but when I realized it was her, I told her to go away. She just stood there, crying, telling me David and Nina had kicked her out that morning.
Why?
Because Nina was pregnant. And get this, they'd known about the pregnancy before the graduation party. That's why they'd gone public. They knew Nina wouldn't be able to hide it much longer. Apparently, Nina had managed to keep it under wraps for a while. but it was getting harder. So, David and Nina decided Lauren needed to find her own place. Our house, the one I'm fighting for, is huge. Plenty big enough for all of them. But no, they're suddenly thinking about money. They plan to rent out Lauren's old room for extra cash because they need a room for the baby. So, Lauren was out. Forced to vacate immediately. It's not surprising they're tight on cash. Nina quit her job. I'm good friends with David's coworker's wife, and she told me the whole office was gossiping about David and Nina's affair. That's why Nina had to leave. David would never admit it, of course, because his higher-ups would frown on it. It's all very hush-hush, but I bet management isn't stupid. They'll figure it out eventually, and David could face action. For now, he's safe, but I know how his mind works. I bet he's already planning how to avoid getting fired. That's why he wants to rent out a room, extra cash. Plus, his divorce lawyer isn't cheap. He's going to find it extremely difficult to maintain his current lifestyle if he has to pay the alimony and give up the house. And you know what? That's all the more reason for me to make sure it happens. It'll be a small way to make him pay for everything he did. But this isn't just about David. It's about Lauren too. Lauren showing up, crying, begging, that didn't automatically mean forgiveness for me. Not even close. I heard her out at the door, but then I told her to leave. I wanted nothing to do with her. She kept pleading, and honestly, it was hard to keep the door shut. But I knew I had to. If I opened that door, I'd end up helping her, and I'd already been burned once by getting involved with that family. I wasn't going to mess up my life again. I kept telling her to go, but she just wouldn't listen. She whined about how insensitive her dad had been, even after everything she'd done for them. And now she supposedly felt what I felt when she betrayed me. She was sorry. She just needed this one help until she found a job and a place. Eventually, I bluffed, pretending to call the cops. That finally scared her off. Or so I thought. Yesterday, she was back, texting me from a burner phone. More sob stories. About how badly David and Nina were treating her. It was so transparent. She just wanted sympathy. She wanted a place to crash until she could afford her own. I wasn't falling for it. At one point, she texted that David and Nina told her she had to move out to make space for their actual family, meaning their future baby. That text, after everything, just pushed me over the edge. My irritation boiled over. I replied, "They're right," I wrote. "Judging by the person you've turned out to be, you couldn't be true to anyone. I wouldn't blame them for not trusting you or claiming you as their actual family. You're not even worthy of being anybody's family." I sent it, and then I blocked her. I was done. I knew she could just get another number, but I was done for the moment. Now, people are accusing me of being too harsh. Apparently, she'd been staying with a friend, but after my text, she went for a walk to clear her head and never came back. Her phone's off. No one's heard from her. Her friend got worried, called David, and David, of course, called me, screaming about what I said to his daughter. Conveniently overlooking the fact that he kicked her out and she contacted me first. We had a massive fight this morning. I definitely put him in his place. But now I'm thinking, did I go too far? Even putting David aside, the fact that she still hasn't contacted anyone's making me worried. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter she's not worthy of being anyone's family? So, before I continue, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who responded to my last post. The outpouring of support has been incredible. Honestly, I didn't expect so many of you to reach out. Thank you for validating my feelings, for telling me I wasn't wrong. Because you know what? I've decided. I'm not going to feel guilty about David and Lauren anymore. I don't think they're capable of guilt, so why should I be? What Lauren does now, it's not my problem. I still think she's just doing this for attention, and she'll show up in a couple of days. If not, David can call the police. I have nothing to do with it. She might have disappeared after my message, but David set this whole thing in motion when he kicked her out. He has no right to paint me as the villain. I've blocked every number he has, and if he finds another, I'll block that too. I'm done. Okay, update number 2. It's been 2 days since my last post, and guess what? They found Lauren. She wasn't even missing. She just went to stay with a friend in the suburbs and decided to ignore everyone's calls. No reason to worry at all. And how do I know this?
Because she contacted me.
Again, begging for forgiveness. She said she'd needed a couple of days to think about what I'd said, and that my opinion, apparently, mattered more to her than she'd realized. She admitted I was right. She knew she had betrayed me, and that no one deserves to be treated like that after everything they've done for a family. She apologized repeatedly in her message. Then came the explanation. Why she sided with Nina, a woman she barely knew, over me, who'd been in her life forever.
David.
David had promised to fund her lavish lifestyle for the next few years, to give her whatever she wanted. To a college student, that sounded very appealing, I guess. On one hand, David and I were trying to teach her financial responsibility. On the other, he was bribing her to keep his sordid secrets and choose Nina over me. This had been going on for a year, ever since his affair started. David had written her dozens of checks. Lauren had taken full advantage. It's utterly disgusting. She was a sellout. Honestly, I wish she'd kept that dirty little secret to herself. It's just so disappointing. Now, given David's current financial troubles, I doubt he can even fund his own lifestyle, let alone hers. Their fun and games are over. And you know what? A part of me thinks it's all because of me. After reading her message, I didn't feel forgiving. If anything, I felt they deserved every single bit of karma heading their way, and more. I've blocked Lauren again, so she can't contact me anymore from that number. David hasn't tried either, but I'll be seeing him soon with my lawyer. It won't matter then. Okay, here's a quick update 3. My friend just told me David quit his job. He apparently resigned 2 weeks ago, and today was his last day. Didn't tell a soul. It was a huge shock to the whole office. But me? I saw it coming. He also told a few friends, including my friend's husband, that he's planning to start his own business. And suddenly, it all clicks into place. It explains why he's so desperate to save money and find extra income, even if it means sacrificing his relationship with his daughter. But honestly, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever his grand plan is, I'm still getting the alimony I'm owed. I just hope he doesn't try any funny business in mediation because of these sudden changes. He's been trying to buy himself time, claiming he's dealing with Nina's pregnancy and can't focus. Total rubbish, if you ask me. He's just scared of confrontation. We're reaching a point where it's either settlement or court. He can't drag this out much longer, and he's terrified of what happens if he fails. Update 4. You guys, a few days ago, I had my final mediation session with David. And guess what? He finally agreed to my terms. All the new information that had come out, especially those screenshots from Lauren, made it abundantly clear that my demands were not just fair, but justified. Going to court would have been a disaster for him. He knew it. So, after months of dragging his feet, he finally caved. I'm ecstatic. I'm celebrating this win, you bet. He has until the end of the month to find a new place and move out. After that, the house is mine. I won't be living there, though. I actually plan on renting it out. It's a beautiful place, and I know I'll make good money from it. I guess I'm taking a page out of David's book, right? And let's be real, I don't need a huge house all to myself. I'm planning on getting a bigger apartment, maybe even a cat. The future feels full of possibilities. I'm single, I'm free, and I plan on living my life to the absolute fullest. I wasted 16 years on David and Lauren, and I'm not doing that ever again. Hey, everyone. Update 5. It's been almost 2 years, and I'm back. Rereading my old posts, it hits me just how utterly miserable I used to be. It's wild how much can change in 2 short years. But I am so incredibly proud of the life I've built for myself. I truly lived up to my promise of living life to the fullest. I've been traveling to my heart's content ever since the divorce. It's something I absolutely love, but David and Lauren never had that adventurous spirit. So, vacations usually meant them staying in while I went out alone or with strangers. Not anymore. I've been everywhere, met so many amazing people around the world. I'm working out, getting in shape, and doing all the things that make me happy, things I never had time for before. I haven't had any contact with David in these 2 years. Lauren occasionally sends me birthday or holiday wishes, but I haven't responded. I do hope she moves on. I feel a tiny bit bad for the kid. She was in her early 20s, and everyone makes bad decisions then. What she did was unforgivable. Yes, but she deserves a good future, and I genuinely hope she finds it. From what I hear, she's cut off contact with David too, and is working out of state. I wish her well. And David? Well, he's now the proud father of twins. From what I hear, his business isn't exactly thriving. He tries so hard to project this image of a perfect life with Nina, but only his closest friends know the truth. My friend, the coworker's wife, still keeps me in the loop with all the gossip. Apparently, he and Nina are constantly fighting, mostly about money. They don't even hide it when they're around friends, which is just tacky, but I expect nothing less from them. Honestly, hearing about their struggles, it brings me so much peace. To know that he's suffering, at least a little, for everything he did. Maybe someday I'll be able to truly forgive him, to ignore his existence completely. But for now, I'm just happy being petty about it. It feels right. So, that's my story. It's been a wild ride, a lot of pain, but a lot of growth too. What would you have done in my shoes? Have you ever had to choose yourself after such a huge betrayal? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to hear your thoughts.